Hello and welcome back. I'm DrHamfist, and today we're doing another daily run. Just in the nick of time, in fact, it's about to flip, and I'd like to shortly explain why. But just briefly to go over what this run actually is before I start being very off topic. Diverse, start with 2 cards from another class. Night Terrors, resting at rest states heals you for 100% of your HP, but costs 5 max HP. And then Vintage, which we've seen before, normal enemies drop relics instead of cards, which is actually one of my favorite modifiers. Let's go check out what these 2 cards are, and then, if you'll indulge me, I'd like to have some off-topic conversation and some distracted storytelling while I try to play the game to explain my day. Alright, so Uppercut and Corruption. Ooh. Interesting enough. Now I will try to actually tell you this story while playing, which means probably both will be quite slow. But I promise to, whenever I'm done with this, actually sort of recap where we are in the game and explain which way is up. I think this path looks fine. So my day, up until just recently, I think people too often describe their day simply as either good or bad, when that's too simple of a description. I would say that today, if I were to put it into so few words, it would be a string of absurdities. That's a bit dramatic, I suppose, but quiet and benign absurdities. And the last of which I'll explain now, which is in part why I'm starting so late today, which is of particular importance because I'd like to take a vacation shortly and need to get all of these recordings in ahead of time. So should it have delayed me just a touch longer, it could have been disastrous. I sat staring at a chair. This chair was in many ways unremarkable, but perhaps remarkable in just these 2. The first being that it had a single strand of fabric sort of hanging off of it, which made it unique from all the rest, and the second being its placement. It stood out of place from its kin, and rather brazenly in the plain obstruction of a walkway. And I had nothing to do at the time but stare at said chair, and I started to wonder if somebody were to enter this room right now not having known how it had been placed there, why they would think that it might have been placed there. A question that I knew the answer to, having recently seen who had placed the chair there. And I guessed that someone's first impression would be the person that placed the chair there would have been one of the clients, perhaps one of the more disreputable of them, with no consideration for where they left their chair. I knew this to be false, for I'd seen the man that had placed the chair there. The man that had placed the chair there was in fact one of the workers where I was. And not just any worker, he was the worker that held the key to my escape from a prison of sorts. Now that may be a bit of a dramatic portrayal of my circumstances. I had submitted myself to this prison. But he held not simply a car, which was the key to my release, but my main way home, my way to work and other. And it had taken quite some time, quite longer in fact, than I would have thought it should have, for him to return with my key out. And I began to worry that perhaps something was wrong with my key home and that my key home was inoperable. And he explained to me that my car, my key from this prison, and my method of getting home would be available shortly, but after a longer period of time from which he had originally told me. But that I would be receiving my key home free of charge, which would normally come with these services they were offering. And for a brief moment, I started to contemplate whether or not being presented with these choices, I would normally have staked my time for that amount of money. But I quickly dismissed, given that I had no choice in the matter. And then at the end of a considerable wait, to the point where the service area was closed, nobody else had ever entered the room again, I realized nobody actually would make that decision. Who do they think left that chair there? Because I sat there until everybody else had left and the shop had closed. And I was the only person that even saw that had happened, because everybody else in the room was paying attention to other things. Mainly, in fact, to the television screen that was either telling them what they should be afraid of or taking a break to tell them what they should buy. And I just sat there, staring at the chair, wondering whether or not my assumptions of what people might think looking at it said more about other people or me. And I think it's actually me. I think the fact that I assumed that everybody else would think poorly of the person that placed it there is actually a reflection on, like, my outlook on humanity. But I like to overthink things, so I had actually quite a ball just passing that idea back and forth while staring at a chair, while waiting for my car to be finished with service, which took quite a while. Oh, I can't actually just defend outright. I have to actually think about this. In fact, that was probably a bad thing to do. Yeah, but that was the most recent in a string of absurdities I've encountered today. I think we just pass. Yeah, so this is, you get relics and no cards from fighting normal guys, which is actually a super fun modifier, especially when you don't die immediately, which might be happening to us. This might be a very, very short episode of Storytime. Probably shouldn't play so distracted. I suppose Survivor is correct. Yeah. Okay. We'll make it out alive. 15 health, but alive nonetheless. Don't particularly want any of these. I guess we will take the Predator. We definitely need to take a card, just given we're playing with Vintage and we'll never find any. I actually think such things often. Like, what would other people think? But the interesting thing is, I don't think other people think about those things as often as I think they do. Largely because I don't think about such things as often as I think other people do. If that makes any sense. Which I assume it probably doesn't. An uppercut will give him a weak, but he already has one, so it won't reduce his damage. I suppose defend, strike is the way to maintain the most health. I don't know if we can really hold to that, though. What about uppercut defend? I think this is the right play. If he attacks next turn, it prolongs the week. Ah! Well, if he doesn't attack next turn, it still does. Slightly imprecise statement. It prolongs the week in any case. We got him. I do almost want to rest. If we like to fight this elite, I think we do like to rest. The 5 HP is a small cost for gaining all of this missing health. I think it's fine. I think it is better than the strength in this position. I do not want to die. I could maybe shoot for that. I could also just shoot for that later anyway. Just be safer going into it. I think that's probably the right play. Let's get the health. Gambling chip, not going to do terribly much for us. Oh, I think the gold might just be worth it. Probably take the damage, though. Injury is pretty quickly untenable, with the exception of maybe the fact that it gives us the strength. Injury is just the plainly unplayable one? Yes, it is. So it's the least bad of all the curses, I would suppose. Short of there being one that is actually ethereal. I don't think there is. I think there's only statuses. I guess we would like the strength. We'll try it out. Could easily be the wrong choice. I don't know if we can take another one, can we? This one is actually particularly bad with the weak. We're going to live it up. We're going to start with 2 strength and get a whole bunch of gold for doing it. Possibly remove that one at the next shop. I think we will just lift here rather than upgrade. So Duvu Doll is hurt by us removing curse cards. So maybe we leave them both in. Unceasing Top really doesn't work with them. Neither of the other two is fantastic. Bag of Marbles has something going for it, though. Especially with us being silent and having Ring of the Snake. I believe we may actually take that card. Possibly also a glass knife. Riddle with Holst as well. Can we take all 3? Can indeed. I think we do. All of them work well with extra strength, which we should have plenty of going into this boss fight. We have no area attacks. I don't think Predator makes much sense. I suppose it does one-shot one of them. Glass Knife does too. We could aim to draw a Glass Knife, keep 1 strike. I don't think we need to. We will likely draw another anyway. And we've got a few other attacks, and strike is probably the worst. Yeah, it doesn't let us check our deck though, does it? No. I think the only thing we keep is the Neutralize. Actually, strike with the vulnerable is enough to kill them, so I should have just kept them all. Yeah, it's actually a big blunder. I forgot about the Bag of Marbles that we just bought. We'll be weak next turn. I suppose it is still correct to kill 2 of them with Riddle with Holes and Strike, and then simply neutralize the 3rd, who should be one of these 2 that is swinging only 6. I don't think it matters greatly which one it is. Oh. That's right, we actually have the Ancient Tea set, and this is the first time we've fought since Arrest. Forgot about that. Ooh, Molten Egg. Less good with Vintage, but this is still Act 1, so it's still not bad. I believe we just take another strength here. How do we like +4 strength with a relatively bad deck? I think it's still fine. We'll try it. We will try it. Ooh. We can get quite a bit of damage in here by playing Uppercut and then Glass Knife. 24, I believe that would be 36 and 17. 53, possibly? With another 12, which will be 65. Of his 140, we'll leave him at 75, which is a pretty round number as far as blasting him next turn. Oh, I've actually missed this calculation. We have Bag of Marbles to begin with, which is to say we gained an extra 9? No, not 9. 6 or 7. Damage that we did not account for. Actually, no, this is what the card says flatly. So it was 17. So yes, an extra 8 or 9. Why did I discount the strength afterwards? The first number I said was probably right. Because we thought 17, it looks like it did 8 more damage than we thought. So that would be actually 67. Which I believe means the correct play would be to Glass Knife and pass. Because this would be 36 from his 115, he'd be at 79. Yeah, this says 8 now, but if I drag it over, it's 12, which means it is too much. Perhaps we could have fit Predator in there somewhere. In fact, I think we could have. Rather than 24 is 36, we could have done another 19, which is roughly 28, and then probably fit this 12 as well. I think we have done that wrong. I always forget that the Ancient Tea set gives us a ton of energy on the first turn. Well, he's still vulnerable, and we still have a ton of strength, but no attacks. I believe that means we pass. Probably remove this defend as well. Undoubtedly attack with this hand. Quite some damage. And then here, I think we do split them. 18, they'll have 6 each. Yeah, I believe we'll split them. Option of throwing away those defense, I think we'll keep them. Can we perfect the boss? Despite our flubbed math early? Yes. Alright, nice. Energy potion. This is actually, I think, the first potion we've seen all run, which is somewhat remarkable. We hit a lot of unknown events in the front of it, but... Ooh. Unload is tempting. Has to be unload, I think. We also have just found the Singing Bowl, so... This is probably one of the worst relics in the game when you're playing with Vintage, but we may actually take that yet sometime. The extra energy is very nice. The curses can work well with Doll. I think we're taking the cursed key and still opening chests. The other option is Tiny House. Obtain 1 card and upgrade 1 random card is as impactful as it will ever be when you're playing with Vintage. I think we'll still do the key. Extra energy is very hard to pass up. Okay. This is quite a bit of damage. Yeah, anytime you got 2 strength from the Gira, 2 strength from Doll, Riddle with Holes suddenly becomes very good. Oh, I did not mean to press that. I think we will still be fine. It's weird that it's showing these as... Well, okay, hold on. If I hover over them, they acquire their blue border. There we are. That's an interesting glitch. He is already vulnerable, so we can attack in really any order we would like. This is a little trivial. It's like infinite levels of ease. Without an infinite deck, we just have enough damage to kill them instantly. Seems a little bizarre. Probably shouldn't hold up long, I would think. Dagger Spray quickly becomes absurd with strength. Pretty much has to be taken. I do think Bag of Prep is actually an option here. Definitely mitigates the impact of all those curses we're going to be acquiring. And I don't think Calculated Gamble is going to see the light of day here. It's definitely not bad. I think we skip it. There's quite a few cards in our hand. Combine that with Gambling Chip is very hard not to have a good hand first turn. Okay. So we should probably kill him first. We undoubtedly want to dagger spray before he dies. Easy. Strength potion. I don't know if we even need that. I think we should still hit unknown events. Ooh. Lose the golden idol and obtain... what is it? 5 health every time you gain gold? Something like that. The other option is gain max HP. I think we'd rather just get the bloody idol. Yes, whenever you gain gold, heal for 5. Ooh. Well, we found the dagger spray, which is a large part of what we're looking for here. And only strikes past that. Which are just shy of killing either on the end. I think we actually cannot kill them all short of using a potion. Are we willing to use a potion this frivolously? Because it's just a few damage it scrapes together. I think we'll just take a little damage this turn. Oh, that's right. No, that's fine. That's fine. It won't be much, but we'll take just this 12, I suppose. Look at that. 1 HP left. Ah, he even dies to the thorns. I forgot that. Mummified hand. We have 1 power. This is a total nombo with that power, because that power already makes things free to begin with. And another strength potion. Maybe we should have burnt our strength potion. I haven't learned anything from my most recent playthrough when every time I used a potion, I immediately recovered it. We'll still take it. Endless Agony definitely seems an option. Yeah, that is a nice card from where we sit. Lift for sure. I'd love some strength. Yeah, and then these two, neither of which can actually be made vulnerable first turn. Throw back both strikes? 1 strike? All of the curses are still in the deck. I think only 1 strike. Not a bad hand, though. Gross. And Whetstone, as if we needed stronger attacks. 2 strikes. Naturally. Not really enough money for the shop. Skip the shop? I suppose. What is clumsy? Oh, there is... Okay. Speak of the devil. I just said in the last act, what if there's a curse that is ethereal? This is actually, I suppose, the best curse in the game to have. And Tingsha, whenever you discard a card during your turn, deal 3 damage to a random enemy for each card discarded. That would make Calculated Gamble a little bit better, but don't think it will matter much right now. Absolutely using Smith. Rusting would, in a sense, actually damage us, because it would reduce our max HP to 60. Glass Knife, definitely an option. +5 damage versus +8. Or one of these other cards. Glass Knife, undoubtedly. That is just such a sick upgrade. Book of Stabbing. Think it can be 1 shot? Let's see. I think throw back everything. This could easily not work out. I think it worked out. Oh! Oh! Look at that, you pretty little thing. So Tingsha works with the gambling chip. I had no idea that worked. I suppose it is during our turn. Kind of. Depends how you define a turn. We're not using any defense this turn. We'll just discard it for more damage. Easy. Ooh, whenever you rest, you may add a card to your deck. This is definitely the best Dreamcatcher will ever be when it is combined with Vintage. Except, I guess, when Night Terrors isn't in there as well. Reflex seems like if it shows up in the first turn, it would actually draw extra cards off of the gambling chip. I think we will actually try that. So we can either hit another shop with barely any gold, and then fit 2 upgrades in, or 2 unknown events, and then also a card from another elite. I guess we'll take left. Not much I actually want to throw back here. Despite the fact each card I throw back does damage. Game plays itself. What can I say? The game plays itself. This boss will likely give me trouble, though. Actually, I haven't even checked what it is, despite the fact I think it's been on my screen very recently. We'll throw back strikes and the uppercut. Now this would be an enemy that would be pretty tough to kill normally with a deck like this, but the extra 5, or actually 6 now, somehow, strength puts it very over the top. That malleable passive, if we didn't have 6 strength, would really start eating into our ability to actually deal damage. Sure. Full strength potion rack? Sounds fine. Do we use one here? Math last time is it absolutely made sense too. I'm going to say Riddle with Holes is overkill. None of their health pools are so great we should actually need that much damage. I believe Unload will actually draw a card when we discard Reflex with it. Please be an attack? Yes. Now the trouble being, he has 44 health left. I don't think we'll be killing him. And we need to commit some attack to actually kill this Taskmaster. Maybe we will kill him yet, actually. $18 and $15 is not enough. By 4? I think it's 4 shy? Something like that. We can still use 2 strikes here to do damage as efficiently as possible. We can save 1 damage by actually leaving him up, though. I'm confident we'll kill him next turn, so we'll kill him. And then we'll actually use Neutralize as the attack here, despite the fact it's our weakest attack. It saves us some health. Actually, we came up with Block somehow. I don't know how he did that. We have the anchor somewhere. There it is. We just got it. That's right. I think I need to go do some regular Slay the Spire. This is not even like strategy anymore. It's just sort of playing things out of your hand. Dash? Dash or max HP? I guess we'll try the dash. It is upgraded. Reflex becomes draw 2 cards. Not bad. I think the upgraded uppercut may actually be the option here. What about the corruption? Probably not. Yeah, let's stick with uppercut. And I had the option, if I wanted to blow all 3 strength potions. While I don't think we'll be doing that, we may well blow 1 or 2 of them immediately. Let's just use 2. Save 1 for the final boss. And then do we want to uppercut? We have 6 energy, and of our energy spending attacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cost 1 each, but 2 of those are unupgraded strikes. There is a riddle with holes and an uppercut. We're undoubtedly playing glass knife and dagger spray. So we could pass on an upgraded strike and an unupgraded strike in order to play an additional 2-cost attack, where I think this extra 2 turns of vulnerable is more valuable. And I think Riddle with Holes is still going to outpace the other attacks we have after Glass Knife and Dagger Spray. So I think the turn looks like this. And 5 health left. I wonder if we could have mapped that differently. And it looks like we took 1 damage, which is unfortunate. And that we don't get the perfect on this boss anymore. For the minimal amount of damage you could possibly take, but... Oh, another glass knife. Heck, this is easy mode. Easy mode. Choosing to add 5 cards to your deck. Definitely an option. I wonder if transforming 3 defense into random upgraded cards would be better. I think we'd rather choose 5 cards. Almost undoubtedly skipping here for the max health. I think prepared. Probably another +2 max HP there. Endless Agony for sure. Ooh, Skewer. And Underhanded Strike. Underhanded Strike can be very, very nice if you've succeeded in discarding anything. We'll take it. I think +2 max HP, +2 max HP here. Which leaves us at 69. Oh, the Time Lord. It would be the Time Lord. He would show his ugly face today. One last absurdity is me trying to kill the Time Lord with 0-cost attacks. Alright. Let's do it. Ooh, Dagger Spray is very, very nice here. And then as many things as we possibly can discard is also very nice here. These must stay, though. Alright. Simple enough. Frozen Egg. Whenever you add a power card, it is upgraded. I believe that completes the everything we find is upgraded forever trifecta, which is meaningless on this run, but we have started to collapse our relics in the trash compactor that is this small top row of this screen. Which would not normally seem that small, actually, but anytime you got vintage, it starts to do some compressing. Oh, no, we want that one. Oh, you can actually sort your hand if you have Gambling Chip? In a slightly exhausting way. Interesting. No, we want that. Stop it. Stop it. Alright. These all seem fine except for the basic strike, I believe. Yeah, that will do. Well, a glass knife and a riddle with holes is grossly overkill. And then the shuriken, very nice. Which we also have the kunai to go with it. I don't think we can pass on this gold. There's a shop right here. And I don't think we particularly care about the enemies having weak on turn 1. So, Red Mask is a pass. Probably is actually fine to pass Predator back here. both upgraded glass knives. Well, that is gross if I've ever seen anything that is. Oh, we will actually pass on taking this. I made the mistake last time I was presented with this with the Duvu doll of actually picking it up. Or was it somehow gifted to me without my choice? I may have actually received this with no choice in rejecting it last time. I think there are ways of acquiring that, like if you dig it out of a shovel at the rest site, which I believe they've recently patched out, honestly. So I think there at least used to be ways of acquiring relics without any say in the matter. I think they've worked on removing at least most of those, possibly all of them, but we are not going to pick that up. Panache is somewhat tempting. It costs 0, is a power, and makes something else cost 0 with the mummified hand. If you're playing Panache and something else for free, it's very likely you can trigger Panache. It doesn't scale with strength, but it might be fine. The backstab seems like a no-brainer. And so does the finisher. Do we have enough money to make the world go round? We do. I believe we take that Panache. Well-laid plans was also good for the same reasons Panache was, but I believe I'd prefer the effective Panache. The gold cost difference aside. Is there an attack we want to upgrade? Don't know that there really is. The reflex is an option. Let's acquire another card. Ooh. Probably will not one-shot this one. 500 health being quite a bit. But can probably still get a fair bit of damage in. 13 block is exactly how much we'd like. But we already have 10 from the anchor. And then this week, I believe, we'll actually clean up the rest of that 3. So I think Dash does actually go. We definitely would like to find a finisher, but I think Panache is fine to keep as well. I believe Panache first is fine. It rolling on Riddle with Holes is actually pretty good. Oh, we should probably play the least damaging attacks first. Which I suppose if we're going to play the strike means we would play the strike now, and we are. $43. Almost made it to the full 500. Not bad. Orichalcum. I believe that maybe works with Anchor. First turn, I think we have 16 armor going into it now. Quick Slash is definitely an option. I believe Underhanded Strike is simply better. If we find this first turn, it's basically guaranteed to be a free deal 12. And actually, it's going to be upgraded yet. So, wait, no. It is 12. I think the shop for sure, right? Yeah. Because we might just find a cheap card we like. Well-laid plans or a slice or quick slash. Do we have enough zero-cost attacks that we'd rather have quick slash than slice? I think we'd rather have slice. Backflip is an option. I think we pass. I guess we'll fight the elite. Should probably just fall over. Definitely looks like it will again. Very nice. And then this would be just a gratuitous amount of damage. Something in the 88 area or something like that. Just a ton. The merchant's card removal service costs. I've never, ever been able to spend card removal after I pull this. I don't know if we have another shop in our path. I've seen Smiling Mask. I've always seen it in Act 3 and never with another shop in my route. So we've never actually benefited from this, but I also think it's one of the best relics in the game if you find it early, which we never have. Fire potion over poison potion? I think so. Need to actually start using some of those. I actually think we skip all of these. The only attack is only playable if your entire draw pile is gone, which good luck to the, for me. Good luck to me for that to happen ever. Yeah, and we're fine with that curse there. That is another strength. Frozen Eye's fine. I think we do take the underhanded strike here. Something to be said for dagger throw, though. Well, we are absolutely upgrading something. I don't want to lose my health. I suppose it'll be this riddle with holes. We're very likely to play this when we have it. Unload, please, one time. This would actually be the second time, because we've already seen it on the last time we fought these guys. But one time. Please, one time. Keep the finisher. Finisher is guaranteed to one-shot one of them, as long as I have a few other attacks, so... We just need to draw enough cards to kill the other two. Panache functions as a very soft dagger spray. But we will be playing it. Wow. This actually works well when you discount it. It profits you too. If you've discarded this turn, actually. Which we have, I believe, because I think it still counts the start of turn gambling chip discard as far as counting for this turn. Let's test that theory, though. We'll leave him for finisher because he has the most. Yes. Puts us to 8. Excellent. Not that we can even use that much, but... And then here is our gross finisher. Yes. All right. Well, this will be a short video. Well, relatively short. Short as I ever am, really. Despite me going banging on at the front, distractedly and playing slowly with the story time. Which is actually very nice. The last video, which is going to be the first in a long time that's been a two-parter, or I think historically I was doing 3 parts, but the last video was so long, in fact, that when I tried to upload it, it would not upload. I put a little nod to that at the end of the first half of it that I uploaded, but I tried to upload it, and it got to 92%, and it froze at 92%. And I could not figure out why, and then my NLE, which is my video editing software, just totally locked up and wouldn't move at all. And it continued like that for 7 hours while I waited patiently to see if it would ever fix itself. At which point I force quit it, rebooted my computer, tried again, waited for several hours because a render that big takes that long anyway, and then found the same problem again. And let me tell you, there are a few things that infuriating. Waiting hours after already having wasted like 7 hours to just see the same problem. That is a little maddening. And I figured out, which I should have known the first time it happened, the problem was that I was running out of RAM. Because the video, when rendered at the high resolution that I leave as the option for you people to view in, is 14 gigabytes in size. And I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, evidently about 4 gigabytes of which can't be freed just for my NLE to run. So once I get to about 12 gigs of one file I'm rendering, everything stops working. Now let's see, this is round 2. Can we kill this guy in one turn? Last time we got to about 450 damage, maybe like 457 or something. Can we just kill him this time? Let's keep only efficient attacks. I almost think we're fine with pitching one of these Endless Agonies. They aren't the best attacks as far as damage goes. Maybe the Neutralize as well. We'll keep the Neutralize. The weak is nice. Okay, and then here we are. Free Underhanded Strikes. Not actually profiting mana, but free. And I guess I actually should be flipping the order on these attacks. Something like this, I believe, is actually the best. And not quite there. In fact, less than we did last time, it seems. Fire Potion doesn't even get us there. Ah, I don't think this 2 strength would have made the difference if we used that and the Fire Potion, though. So I think we just simply weren't going to get there. Not on the first turn, at least. Another slice? We have plenty of cheap attacks. Do we want another slice? I guess we do. And then one more relic before the boss. 300 health, less than 500. Pretty confident we can actually bring this guy down in a turn. Let's see. Let's see. The one thing being, this lacks the slow passive that the Maui head thing, whatever it's actually called, has. It makes it take more damage for each card you've played. I still think we can manage to do this. All the free attacks first. Actually, probably should have paid attention to where Pen Nib is. I guess it started at 0 because we just grabbed it, right? So I think it doesn't matter. Yeah, it actually looks like we're nowhere close to enough damage, right? Eh. Within 50. Pretty close. So, judging off this, we did about 250 damage the first turn. Played several cards to do it. I don't think we have any real hope of killing the Time Lord the first turn. I think we have to go for probably a 3-turn kill. This is good for the first turn, but we have to do something in order to discard it moving forward, so it's not actually that good into the Time Lord. But what are the other options here, really? I guess we do want to play Corruption when we find it. We can just thin our deck if this fight's going to go long at all. I think we will beat him. That uppercut is actually a reasonable keep, I think. The dash almost is too. We have 6 energy. If we pitch the strike, we can play Riddle with Holes, Glass Knife. We can't play the dash and Riddle with Holes and uppercut unless that's all we do. Do we want to reserve the right to do that? What if we pass back these 3 and just see whether or not we draw one of those, I think it's like Underhanded Strike, that would give us 2... Wait, no, it doesn't give us any energy unless we discount it. Yeah. I think we do want to play uppercut this turn, though. Do we really avoid playing Glass Knife? Seems crazy. It's so efficient. Let's just take damage, pass back the dash, just not make that block. Everything else seems pretty good to keep, though. Oh, this is a fine hand. Probably avoid playing Prepared or Survivor, really, though. I guess we can play Survivor near the end of the turn. Oh, I should have paid attention to Pen Nib, right? I don't know. It's not going to trigger this turn if it hasn't already on like our first attack or so. So Survivor here for 10 block? Sure. And 3 measly damage. Alright, well, he does not look like he is dead this turn. Ah, Ethereal. So Unload is actually a Nombo with Clumsy. Because if I play Unload, I actually don't get rid of my Clumsy. But we would definitely like to proc him at the end of this turn, so we're going to play Defend before we Unload. and then slice and unload. And that will immediately end our turn, but it stops him from doing that to us in the middle of our next turn. And he did heal. We should have activated this strength potion a long time ago. That's a blunder. I guess we avoid playing Underhanded Strike. It's just not terribly efficient. We can get a Defend, a Dagger Spray, and a Predator in. Yeah. Okay. And then we can technically Fire Potion right now. I don't think there's really any reason not to. Let's just start getting rid of things that are not attacks. That does proc his timer up some. If we were trying to kill him next turn, that was probably the wrong way to do it. Last Knife. And I suppose Underhanded Strike if we're trying to maximize damage. We'll take 27 to do that. Seems fine, though. Oh, yeah, there we go. I was going to say, the discard should happen there. And then this turn, he should be dead. Indeed. Alright, we've done it. Somewhat close. Our health is a palindrome. I like it. 880? I'm supposed to guess in the 800s because I pretty consistently score it there, at least on the daily challenges. Oh, over 1,000. I'm just going to stop saying numbers. I'm always so far off. Yeah, and this would suggest that I've done about 9 runs, based on the fact that I get about 880. Yeah. Well, that was a fun run, which I think it pretty much always is whenever there's vintage. Night Terrors, I think, is fine. It's really nasty with, I think it's Touch of Midas, which prevents you from upgrading your cards. But whenever you can actually avoid using the rest site as a rest and can not take the 5 max HP hit, this is actually not nearly as bad. I think one of the worst combos we could possibly see would be Night Terrors and Terminal. I'm wondering if they'll ever do that to us. And if they do, I wonder what the highest scores will be on the scoreboards. I guess some people will find an infinite and never need to heal and actually get a pretty reasonable score, but I think 98% of people would actually just die on that, and I confidently put myself in that 98%. Don't get me wrong. But yeah. We still don't know what time dilation is. We're hoping to see that next run. I'm also shortly going to be doing some classic runs because I'm going to have to, because I'm going on vacation, and I can only record 1 daily run a day because they don't change it. Short of me doing one of them twice in a row, which, I'll just keep them all different each time. So expect some normal ones within about probably the next week. So if you're looking to see me press Ascension mode with all the skills I've picked up from just this goofy nonsense, which probably teaches me bad habits, watch me beat my face against that wall shortly. But next video will probably be another daily run, so see you then.